UFOs, ETs, and life's dramas. Hello and welcome to New Spirit Radio Show. Tonight, Francine is taking us somewhere unexpected into the world of extraterrestrials, psychic blue lights, and why you should never give up.
In tonight's trance recordings, Francine explains the difference between extraterrestrials and interterrestrials and why ETs can actually beam places just like Star Trek. She'll also cover Earth's 591st planetary cycle. I'm so glad I just got that right. Azna's negotiations over how much time Earth has left, and she'll talk about a warning about dark occult groups targeting children.
And we'll hear about a mysterious blue light that mediums emit and why it draws people in crisis. This is challenging. And why it draws people in
It's okay.
Oh, in crisis, thank you, straight to them. So put the kettle on and settle in for another out of this world trance recording from Sylvia Browne.
And if you are new here and wondering who's talking in the recordings, definitely check out any of our intros of our older live streams, which will explain Sylvia Browne's process as a trance medium. Really cool.
With that, welcome to New Spirit Radio with hosts Reverend Catherine Taylor and Reverend Tom Bigley.
Hello, many blessings. Good to see you. How are you?
We're here. That's technical challenges.
Yes.
Things challenging, interesting to get started, but we got it going. Yes, I do look a little bit different than I did last week. Besides the shirt, it looks like I'm in a smoked out room or something, and that's another challenge that I'll deal with later. Seems to be our favorite. How did you use Novus Spiritus philosophy? If you're familiar with it, start posting in the comments what you used, and we'll share our homework. That's followed by special prayers and a moment of silence. Then we get into the trance segments. That's followed by a meditation. Then I'll share something about closing notes, and later we'll get into the novena, and I will explain that when we get there. Then I encourage some appreciation, and we conclude with a prayer by Sylvia. We also we would also be appreciative that you post in the comments, what did you think of this? What did you get? What was your favorite part that we shared tonight? Post it in the comments, and especially at the very end during the prayer, I'd love to post those things up on the screen for you. Now we will start with hello. Start with I got one of these things. Let's see if
fancy.
If it's helpful. All right, there we go. And by all means, wherever you are, if it's appropriate to light a candle, light a candle. If not, use those fun flickering lights. Now, I like to share with Kat, or give Kat the choice of who goes first, you, me, or look up online. And I got to preface this. I didn't do well. Yes, I did. I did write it down, but yes, I've got something.
Marvelous. I suppose I can share first. I continue to do gentle prayers for asking God that if I have lost any essence after life's very, very difficult turmoils that causes what we've heard of in the past as shattering of the souls, that if, any of the super past incidents that were very, very difficult, if I could just continue to bring that back in together, continue to heal, continue to have integration. And I have then done my part on the other end of that, which is to do the things of life and to just go forth and live life and do things. And I got so much done this weekend. I haven't gotten this much done this weekend in a long, long time.
Wow.
Had a blast. Just learning some new technical skills and and working on setting up my some side projects. So that was all very positive, and I'll also say I am continuing to do very, very good with managing my diet and eating a lot more fish for my protein sources, getting tasty lentils, tasty chickpeas, and just really trying to find easy things that I can make that are very, very tasty, because sometimes, I mean, I just have to be honest, like if something's easy, I'm going to elect for that 9 times out of 10. So I may as well buy something that is healthy and easy and tasty. And so, all right, done that, doing really, really good, proud of myself, and we are moving in the right direction, ever onwards. Cool. So
cool.
Mm-hmm. How about yourself? What have you used of Novus philosophy recently?
I have posed the question and don't have the answer yet. How do you know if you are, what's the word, or the way to express it? How do you know if you are stuck in somebody else's karma? If you've gotten yourself, and for me, it's based on activities that I'm involved with, I'm getting excited about, yet I don't see, just because of, lack of being psychic for myself and what's going, what happens in the future for me. I'm not seeing the path between where I am, what I'm doing, and where I think I should be. And I'm involved with several different, I'm involved with several different extracurricular activities, and I get my hands, get in there and help in a variety of ways, and really get sometimes get overwhelmed with, oh my gosh, and it's between me and a handful of people that are getting things done for everyone else, and that's where I'm, and it's for both programs that I'm associated with, Toastmasters and the marketing meeting committee that I'm on. So that's where I'm posing that question. I mean, yes, there's a lot of challenges between both. There's a lot of stuff going on, a lot of changes, and I'm like, hello, this is a lot to deal with. So that's why I'm trying to figure out where's that boundary for myself, and are these the right things for me?
Gosh, that's a good question. That's such a good question.
And kind of the answer, part of the answer for me is, what's my motivation? Is it desire or fear? That, for me, that's like one way to determine, am I afraid of not getting something, or afraid of something happening, or afraid of no recognition? If I'm if I'm motivated by that, I think then you're allowing yourself to get sucked into someone else's karma, and feeling responsible for helping them. What else? Oh, and a family member had been asking questions about, hey, what about, asking specific questions, and I was like, wait a minute, how far into this do I want to get? Yes, I can help and provide help. It's like, okay, but where do I draw the line for myself, as far as how do I make sure I'm loving myself, paying attention to taking care of myself, instead of stressing out over everybody else's needs, wants, and wishes. And along those lines, it's, again, when do I know when my cup is overfloweth, that I can provide for others? And me personally, it's hard. I'm not sure I have a emotional measurement of when my cup floweth over. I just know sometimes my cup ain't full. That's so, I haven't
That's
learned a
interesting.
personal gauge of when my cup runneth over, and great, I'm happy to share. Versus, oh my God, I feel like my cuppeth is empty, empathy, empty, empathy, empty. Yes.
Oh,
So
oh goodness.
that's. Am I in too far with somebody else's karma? That's the basic question, and those are
Mm,
like as best I can identify without embarrassing people.
sure.
Where I'm. Um, am I at the right place at the right time?
That is a fantastic question, because I think that people sometimes might find themselves in a very similar situation of wondering, is this a responsibility, like a dharma that I've picked up that
Yeah.
is, and that can be a beautiful thing. And am I overextended? Like, where is this coming from? Or is it in a situation where we've gotten underneath the dome of someone else's karma or some other group's karma?
Right.
Absolutely. Those are very, very good questions. Yeah.
And fun, you should bring up the word dharma, because that reminded me. I forgot who brought that up, whether it was Francine or Rahim. My dharma is family.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. That is fascinating. I'm so excited.
And
That's so fascinating. Wow. Oops. Camera.
I'm still like, okay, well, I'm still trying to understand what that means. Is it about immediate family, or a family I get into, or
Sure.
working with an organization could also be a family. And sometimes those families don't get along.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. My instinct, what comes to mind, my instinct is that if this were me, I would want to do some visualizations of, I'd want to do the karma dome exercise that they mentioned once on the trances.
Yeah.
Where they described, and I think it was a woman in the audience had been asking about, how do I recover from this extraordinarily abusive relationship? I think that's what the context was. And the spirit guide went on to talk about how you want to visualize yourself as like having a dome, like when you go to a continental breakfast and you see the domes full of like the different foods, and you open the dome and the food's in there. She's like, you want to visualize yourself as like your own life is being underneath that dome. And what happens when someone else has pulled you out of your dome into their dome, then you're living in their karma, you're living their life, you're living their lessons.
Yeah.
So I think about that. I'm like, am I starting to learn their lessons for them? Am I really, really sitting down and like spending a lot of effort trying to teach them a certain lesson? Or do I just have my point of contact and take a step back? And I got a lot better got a lot better with this after therapy school, for sure, with understanding like my own particular boundaries with that particular thing. But if it were me, I would start with that and see like, how far out of my own dome do I feel? Or do I feel like I've pulled in a lot of strands into my dome? And that to me feels like dharma.
Mm-hmm.
When I think about it, like, it's like, okay, if I've pulled things underneath my dome, that feels like dharma. That's like and for anyone listening, dharma, we haven't talked about it all too often on the show, but dharma is described as a responsibility. So let's say that right before you come into life, you've already written your chart, you've done all these different things, and then one of the angels asks you right before you go down the chute, is like, is there anything else that you want to pick up? And sometimes a person might say, you know what? My mother was an artist and I want to carry that with me. And then they come through, and then now you have like an artistic ability, and you might be the next person in line to further their incredible artistic endeavor. So it could be, but everyone has a dharma. There's a, I remember some of the dharmas being really incredibly specific. Like Sylvia was to all groups of people.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, that's interesting. Dharma could be to animals. Dharma could be to children. Dharma could be to, so there's like lots of different little things there. So I don't envy you. Someone in the chat said that Chris recently posted a short talking about this, and where I think it was Sylvia saying, write down a list of people on one column, and then the second column go through, is this person draining me or not? Do I feel consistently drained after seeing this person? And then in Sylvia's good humor, she said, if they drain you, let them go. It's just like, oh my goodness, Sylvia, she's so direct. I'm sending you prayers and positive wishes.
And the fun, there are no coincidences. And on what fits that phrase for me, last night at my Toastmasters class, somebody was doing a talk. They did it in the past, but this was their second time doing the same talk because they're supposed to use improvements from the previous one. And it was specifically about not getting caught up in, or giving yourself those boundaries of saying no, which falls in line with and sparked the interest. I think it added to the spark of interest of, am I in in someone else's dome of karma? That's what I'm
interesting
working on. And unfortunately, I did see that video that you were talking about, the writing the names down of who drains me and who doesn't. It's not about draining and not draining. It's more of the sense of responsibility to do things because I see it needs getting done. But does it serve me? That's the hard part to tell, because sometimes we go through experiences, sometimes we do things. Many people go to college for a particular graduate with a particular study, but yet through 2-3 jobs later, there's very little relevance to what they what their study was in college. It's that kind of situation.
Interesting.
Anyway,
interesting to ponder. Good stuff to ponder.
What are they sharing on chat?
Yeah, we've got some new folks in chat. Hello, very warm welcome, and very warm hello to our regular listeners. It's always so beautiful to have you around. Also, a quick question for yes.
Quick question for, because I see a comment that I thought would be help.
Sure. I'm
going to post it, but you ask. Go ahead.
Okay. Quick question for chat. Let us know how the audio sounds, by the way, because I did some stuff to my audio, and if it's too loud, please let us know so that I can adjust it. All right, thank you.
And same with
go for it.
Are we even with each other as well? So I'm just going to do a quick. You're a little bit louder than I am, but that's okay. I was just listening to YouTube. That's why I went dead for a second. It's got a 10-second delay. Anyway, here's the comment I wanted to share. let's see. Tom, can you please talk about option lives and suicide?
Ooh. We're going to talk about that today, actually, a little bit.
Oh, really? Oh,
We
okay.
are.
Then let's not spoiler alert. However, let's see. Please talk about option lives and suicide. Well, yeah, that we're going to get into that. I think that's better. We hang on and let that one. I just saw option lives and thinking it was option line. That's two different things. There's option line and option life.
Yes, two different
Very
things.
So I just wanted to show myself and express that's two different things. Option lives is what Sylvia did. She wasn't required. She didn't have the curiosity. She was, for lack of a better term, or humorously
Cajoled.
Thank you.
Cajoled
Into coming back into this life. So there was no specific lessons for her to learn. It was just, here, try this. Oh, try that. And that's the option life.
It's extra credit. Consider that it's extra credit.
Yeah. Yes.
Yes.
Suicide. I want us to go through listen to the trances first before we talk about suicide. But thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you for sharing that.
Mm-hmm.
What else do you got?
And
what else do you see?
And yeah, and then an option line with an N, that is where in your chart we've got 7 different areas. I'm going to try to remember them off the top of my head: spirituality, finance, career, family, love life, social life, and health. Oh my gosh, we got it all the way through. So an option line happens when someone says, you know what, for this particular life that I'm about to endeavor on, I want to raise the difficulty level, because why do things with normal mode when we could do it on hard mode? And so then a person will say, I'm going to lightly sketch in what could happen or might not happen. And so people will, as a result of that, will be in life and be like, why is this part of my life such a disaster fire? It is a dumpster fire all the time. No matter what I do, I don't feel like I know what I'm doing. Things never seem to click. It is so difficult. Why is this? And the most common option line, according to Chris, is your love life. That's oftentimes additionally the easiest one. Sylvia's option line was her family. She oftentimes talked about how difficult things were with her family and how things were constantly a mess and people were always fighting with each other. Chris said that the hardest one is when people have health as their option line, where it's just really, really difficult to get their health under control. So those are just some things, and we're going to hear about this a little bit more in our third segment tonight. Let me go through some of the comments, and because I know some folks were asking questions, definitely want to try to get to your questions.
Well, you're reading. I got one that I'm going to post here.
Go for it, please.
Ramona says, just trying to climb my spiritual ladder and ascend as high as possible. It's all I can do.
Yes.
Great.
Good for you. Amazing.
I still have to ask myself sometimes, am I doing the best I can with what I've got? Yeah. Which I think falls in line with what you're doing and or what you've expressed about climbing your spiritual ladder. What is it? Darn it. I think it's our tenet number 1 is about climbing the mountain or scaling the mountain of self.
Scaling the mountain of self, yeah.
And
please.
Go ahead.
Please.
Go ahead.
For what it's worth, I never feel like I'm doing enough. It always is an agitation and an aggravation inside me that it's like I just want to get to the next thing, get to the next step up the mountain. So, for whatever that's worth for anyone listening, if you're also irritated, we're told through trances that that's very common for people who are spiritual. Let's see here. The Upside says, my prayers for prosperity have been answered. I've made online sales this week. Congratulations. It's very encouraging because I had a business that failed in the past. It's like delayed wish fulfillment. We will be happy to continue to pray for you and definitely just keep at it, keep activating, keep asking what's working. I'm also getting it into more of an entrepreneurial side myself, and there's just my heart goes out to you. just keep at it, keep asking questions, keep asking yourself what's working. You got this. We will be so happy to pray for you. Hi, Miss LJ. I was thinking about you today. I'm so happy to see you. Welcome. Miss LJ says, wow, I'm just looking at the backdrop of this channel. My congratulations to those who created this. Well done. Thank you very much. My husband and I were kind of co-authors there on just trying to make something really pretty for us, but thank you very much. Really appreciate it. Tangel says, my dharma was God. I have no clue what to do with that. Oh, that just sounds like committing to one's spirituality. To me, like I don't know. Tom, did anything come up for you? Like doing good deeds, doing good works?
Dharma is God. Well,
responsibility to God.
That's a challenging one. What would be a responsibility to God? Well, I don't think you're ignoring God.
Good works. Yeah. No, you're definitely not.
I would meditate on that.
Yeah.
And keep poking, for lack of a better term, and playing humor, poke at God and poke at your spirit guide and say, I don't understand this. Show me what I need. Show me what this means. And as best, ask not in a negative. It's because sometimes I'm like, sometimes when you ask, oh, I want to be, I was trying to think of an example. Now I'm having trouble finding the example. Sometimes when you say, oh, I want to achieve this, well, it becomes harder to do something. The circumstances brought in front of you make it really hard to accomplish something. So I would encourage asking, well, I want it in a positive thing. Sometimes it's like, okay, my brain's not conceiving or not perceiving the circumstances, so I need you to turn the volume up so I get it.
Yeah. Meditating on it is always a good option. 1000% encouraged. AC asks, is Dharma the option line? No, Dharma is not an option line. So it's a difference between Dharma and karma. Karma is our experiencing, the way that Sylvia described it. It is the entirety of our experiencing. Try not to think of it as being like a tit for tat sort of situation. Karma is literally what are you experiencing in life? You're experiencing like sitting here, whatever you're doing right now. That's karma. It's considered experiencing. So in the chart, when we do an option line, we're like, I want to make this experiencing a little bit more difficult, sometimes a lot more difficult.
Or haven't written it in.
Exactly. Some
You've
people
written
don't
in all those other
That's
areas.
so difficult.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And that can also come up in psychic readings too, where you can, like, psychic will be accurate on like A, B, C, D, and E, and then they'll get to this one area that's always a hot mess. If it's an option line, it's really hard to chart if it's charted. So a psychic can oftentimes miss them, like lots of psychics can just continually miss on this one area. Like if it's not charted, it's not charted. They're not going to be able to even see it.
Right.
Because there's what's to see.
It's not even in the Akashic
literally
record.
Very challenging.
Right.
Mm-hmm. It's literally just up to fate. Free will. I meant free will. Please.
I was trying to think of which Journey of the Soul book has option line, talks about option line. And you know what? Dharma, I can't remember. I don't remember where that's, but
I don't remember either.
Go through the Journey books and or buy them.
The index.
That's the other way to do it. And search through them for both of those things, both of those terms. So almost more than half of them have an index in the back, so you can do a quick run through it and look for those specific words.
Mm-hmm. Well, I can tell you right now, it's not in topic 3. But yeah,
Okay.
this is what this is what they look like. You can order them through calling, like emailing the office or calling the office, and then you get your printed version of what Sylvia.
Here's a
Yes.
fun one. Sorry, I'm reading
Go for
ahead
it,
of you here.
please.
This one is, why do I remember my personal past lives and others don't?
Ooh.
Well, that's because everybody's different. I don't recall them.
Yes.
I've had to, well, sorry, maybe I should say it this way. The way I've experienced my past lives is through hypnosis and occasionally meditations. I've been able to pull that through. I've watched many documentaries where children between the ages of 3 and 5 really become, that haven't lost that connection from the other side. They remember, and it's, in many cases it's been documented, they remember their past lives, and their parents would go and research for them or with them and show that sure enough the child has brought forth this information that they've researched and validated through the research. Everybody's different. That is the best of my and many people, they come into this life and think, oh, because they've been brainwashed, because they brainwashed that they can't or shouldn't. And it starts when you're little.
Yes. Amazing. So yeah, just keep don't let any society message tell you to close off your channel. Just go with whatever it is that comes to you. I get like little flashes of memory every now and then from the past, from past lives, but that's marvelous for anyone who has those experiences. Definitely just keep your channel open. Somebody in the comments, thank you so much. You have an excellent memory. Someone said that Dharma is mentioned in the Mystical Traveler book. So
cool.
Woo, fantastic. Glad we solved this mystery.
I wouldn't have expected that. That's
right. That's marvelous. Okay. Fantastic questions, everybody. One last question that I want to answer super quick, and then we should get into our trances.
Yeah.
Someone asked, does an option life have a theme? Yes, you have a theme, but you tend to pull in any other themes that you've had in the past or that you are curious to work on. So, for instance, let's say that you are in an option life like Sylvia. Sylvia's option life themes were humanitarian and loner. But at the same time, she pulled in other things like I can't remember if she said anything specific, but she did talk about how you'll pull in other things. So for I don't know if I'm on an option life or not, but if you're on your last life, oftentimes that is an option life, and you'll notice like, oh yeah, it's kind of hard to pick out my theme because I've got like these different influences that are really, really energizing me or really, really, really irritating me. So don't be surprised if that happens. So,
well, the other
helps.
Fun thing that can be confusing is if you're on your last life, occasionally we'll also bring in things that we haven't tidied up emotionally or lessons that we haven't tidied up. We've come back, we've come here for the last life and cleaned things up. So there maybe covered some of the other themes kind of fall into place. Ask if you're not sure, bug your guide to say, okay, the challenge I think is, we get so our attention gets drawn outside of us instead of listening inside. So that's where meditation is helpful. It helps us to quiet our mind. The challenge can be if we aren't used to listening to that quiet voice or putting importance on it. It's quiet your mind, ask the question, and go with the first thing that comes to mind. And that takes
practice, so keep at it. Jinx.
Yes.
All right. I think it's about time for special prayers, and then let's get into things.
Oh, I was ready for trance. Thank you.
Oh.
However, that's what it says here. Special prayers. Now it's time we want to put that energy out for whatever the needs are. Visualize what that outcome is, whether it's for you, a loved one, family, state, country, or somewhere else in the world. Visualize what that outcome is. And we're going to ask for Mother God, archetypes, archangels, and our spirit guides to get out there and help in whatever way they can. And we're going to ask for the greater good. So let's take a moment of silence and put that request out. Amen.
Amen.
If you posting prayers in the comments, great. That gets out to the public. If you want to do a private prayer request, you can always go to the website and look for the prayer chain and post a note there. Also,
Yes,
I like to encourage be the prayer. If you see a need, fill it.
Amen. So important. Okay, and friendly reminder, a free way to help us, which we super, super appreciate, is if you consider liking and subscribing, really appreciate it. Right before we get into trances today, I just want to give a little bit of a content alert. We are going to be talking about suicide today, and we always want to encourage people to please talk to a professional mental health or like crisis line or anything like that. If anything, if you're in a bad place, please talk to a professional 100%. But from a spiritual perspective, we're going to be talking about this topic today. So if anything comes up for you, just try to be gentle with yourself and feel free to ask questions, and we'll do the best that we can. And just sending tons and tons of love today. So as we get into our topics today, the first thing that Francine is going to talk about, start talking about UFOs and direct extraterrestrial and spirit world communication. UFOs can dematerialize and beam places, just like on Star Trek. Why you should not give up when things are tough. And then she's going to offer an AIDS prediction that was really, really interesting and did end up happening over the next couple of years.
Cool. All right. Here we go.
I want to talk to you tonight about, I was going to talk to you about many things, but there's been so much activity as far as UFO sightings over most all of this area, and the fact that you have been visited now by extraterrestrials as well as interterrestrials. I don't know if you know the difference. The extraterrestrials come in a human form from another planet. Interterrestrials are what I am, which means we are in spirit form. And you see, the strange phenomena exists is that we are able to have direct communication with the extraterrestrials, which we do not have direct communication with you. This does not mean that they are higher advanced. It just means that their density mass is not as thick. People on other planets have direct recourse to their spirit guides. You might say they straddle both dimensions. That's why they appear and disappear at such a fast rate. It's because they have learned dematerialization. They also, like your old Star Trek, can be molecularly diffused and then reassembled. So they do have a machine type of atmosphere or a mechanism in which they can beam themselves to different places. So the reason why I'm saying that is because I don't want you to be thrown off, because I'm told that there's a lot of visitations, that if you see someone at this point, you might not know whether it is a spirit guide or an extraterrestrial. Doesn't matter, really. It's just a matter of semantics, of being able to be visited by these entities that are very concerned about the chaotic confusion that is going on within the world. There's very strange things that are happening as far as entities being aware. When Sylvia was talking to this female lawyer today, the lawyer stated to Sylvia, "You know, Sylvia, I'm here on an option life and I came to fight the dark." And Sylvia just about fainted on the phone and said, "What do you mean, Carlene?" And she said, "I have trouble discerning the difference between black and white anymore until I'm hurt very badly. And I really want to go home, but I realize that I'm down here to fight, and then I want to go home." And Sylvia found this as a very comforting message that of what Azna had relayed to all of us, that they can move lawyers into positions, they can move anyone into position if they so choose, even in your life. They can interfere and push people that are white into your life. And I know that all of you, without exception, are going through periods of not being able to find work, or having problems in your jobs, having financial problems, or some other very severe types of financial problems at this point. That, I have told you, will definitely be alleviated within a few weeks' time. That doesn't mean you're going to win the lottery, but it certainly means that the time of the desert is coming to a close. And in any desert period, it's those last awful miles of dryness that seems to do you in. How many times you've heard people say, "I didn't think I could make it another step," and then find out that they dropped in 3 more steps. There were blades of grass that were coming up. And that's why I don't want you to give up. I have sometimes thought, and have related to Sylvia, that maybe it would have been easier if everybody would have just gotten thrown in a lion's den and then it had been over with. But of course that's not the style now. There are people worried about the friends. There's been an awful lot of illness that has been breaking out. Sylvia's mother has cancer. There's a winding down of a lot of things and a lot of pressure on your minds. Early morning, as I have stated to you, is an unguarded moments. It's when anxiety can be at its highest. And this is because the period of attack, and I don't want to make you all superstitious and frightened, but that's when the period of attack is the harshest. and late at night. This is when your defenses are down. This is when your resources are low. And I really, really caution you tremendously on keeping your blood sugar high. I don't mean into the where you need insulin, but keep it at a level in which you can maintain. Because when your blood sugar slips, and if you're in a state of worry or confusion, you won't eat right, and this is the worst time not to eat right.
Is that why Rahim mentioned please don't start things such as diets?
Don't start any new things now. Don't start any fad things. Don't start any fasts. If you're going to get any kind of blood work done, I would recommend that you put it off for a little while so that you don't have to fast. And keep yourself high on protein. And I don't mean animal fat as much as I do chicken, fish, and be sure that you detoxify with a lot of water. I was told by our researchers that very soon there is going to be a great breakthrough in AIDS. It's a year and a half off. It is a form of AZT, but it's also, as Sylvia stated 3 or 4 years ago and got laughed at, that it's going to be also a vaccine from the rhesus monkey, which is a green monkey, which it originated from in the first place. There's also going to be a great breakthrough in cancer therapy, and that is isolating the cancer. So there are many things on the horizon that are very positive in a worldwide area. On the other hand, though, you still have all of what we call now the period of natural disasters. And that was the beginning of Hugo. That was the hurricane. Then you're going to have more earthquakes. It seems to be in a rolling motion of wars, then they subside, and then the natural disasters take over. It is a direct sense of a dying earth. And the dying earth is, in a way, very sad, but it also is very needed to cleanse. And I think, like anything else, you are here to see the earth go on its way and talk it over peacefully. I'm becoming not alarmed, but a little concerned is that the time slot is dropping somewhat. It started out with 105 years. Something is rushing ahead to a conclusion, but I'm not truthfully aware that much at this point of exactly the knowledge that is coming down. I don't mean to sound stupid to you, but you must realize that we guides are not always knowledgeable in what is the workings of the higher echelon. It's no different than in a large corporation in which you're not always privy to the knowledge and the sanctions and the deliberations and the voting, as I might put it, to your finite minds, that of what's going on with the creative forces. And since we are all part of the creative forces, I on my side, you on your side, I think that that's what's given us a sense of desperation. Not that I am suffering with any desperation, but I'm only concerned, as all the guys are concerned, that you will make the best of the time that you do have here and stick solidly.
Stick together. Just like, oh, hey, there's a new face. Here, I'll help you. I just unmuted you.
Thank you. Thank you. This is Jason's boy Java. He's an old kitty, and he's only visited us, I think, maybe once or twice.
Yeah.
He wandered in today, and nice to see you, Java.
Whoa. I heard that.
Oh. He's rubbing his face all on the mic. Thank you, buddy. It's very, very, very opinionated kitty. Very opinionated. Oh my goodness. Okay. Okay. There you go, buddy. Okay. So what stands out for you for what we just listened to? If anything.
That one's a
stands
challenge.
out.
Nothing really,
Yeah.
nothing stands out. It's just there's helpful information talking about what would be to happen in the future. Desert periods, again, talking about desert periods, and those are, giving a sense of, hey, maybe if you feel like you're in a desert period, things to expect. That think of in terms of it's not gonna last forever.
Yeah, it's not going to last forever. And I thought that was really super reassuring when she said there that it is usually like the last few dry miles that we're walking after a terrible, terrible time that people usually fall over. But we just have to keep. But what she said is like, but if you can just hold on just a few more steps, that's usually when the grass starts to spring up. And generally speaking, in my own experience, I will generally agree with that. It is really, really hard in that last stretch, though. It's like the worst part of a marathon. Really is. Worst part of a sprint, worst part of a marathon, worst part of a 2K. It's just terrible, terrible time.
And why should we hang on? It's we are satisfying a curiosity about ourselves, an experience that we asked for. It's up to you if it's an irritation versus just challenging. If you're under somebody else's karmic dome, then you would probably have like a different emotion about the situation. It might be fear-based, might be guilt-based, versus, oh, this is really hard. I'm having a hard time. It's I was just watching a movie of, I think it was called 90 Minutes in Heaven. When you're, think of having to deal with the pain of bones being redone and adjusted, and it's really challenging to endure the pain. Yet the outcome is you're going to get the benefit of reuse of the whatever limb was having the challenge.
Yeah, absolutely. And we, Reverend Danny points out in the chat, it's like we made a contract. We made a contract with God for certain experiences, and yes, they're extremely difficult, but the payoff is so incredible on the other side of extreme challenges. You may not realize it. Like, and there's you could not pay me $1 billion to go through my 20s again. You could not. No, I will be a broke individual for life instead of going through how difficult my 20s were. It was such a difficult time. My goodness gracious. But the depth and the insights and the context that I gained from those experiences, the instant compassion that I have for other people who are chronic pain sufferers, survivors, there's a depth of feeling there that is so instantaneous. Once you have gone through a challenge, you're on the other side of it, and you have so much empathy for people who've gone through that same thing. And I wouldn't, like, that's priceless. That's priceless. And yet I would not, you could not pay me $1 billion to go through it again. There's no way. Absolutely no way. Yeah. So you just got to hang on. You just got to hang on and know that there's gems, there's brightness on the other side of it. And yeah, just from a spiritual perspective, you can always consider asking Chris a couple questions with his question specials. and say, hey, I'm really, really stuck on X, Y, and Z part of my life. Do you have any suggestions about how to get out of it? And he's always been great anytime that I've been like super stuck like that. One time when I was like around 22, and this was still very, very early in my endometriosis experience, and I had just had a terrible, terrible accident and torn a lot of muscles off of my rib cage. It was really, really gnarly. And I'd been through so many doctors, and I was in just like so much pain. It was awful. And I didn't see any hope on the other side of it. I didn't know how long this was going to last. And so I was like, all right, that was my first Chris experience. Mm-hmm.
That makes it harder to endure, is not knowing the end thing and holding the thought of this is now, this seems like forever. And that's where visualizing an outcome, visualizing if you're feeling ill, visualize that you're feeling better tomorrow, the day after, give it some time frame. Yes, I'm challenged at that. I don't do it as well as I could, but that's the premise. That's helps us get through. Any other tidbit? Because I'm gonna post somebody else's fun question.
Someone else's comment. I want to offer just the conclusion of this particular story that I went through. So I got on the phone with Chris. Chris said, wow, that accident really messed things up. You need to go to, he says, I'm really sorry. It's going to be about 2 years more of this before it settles down, but you have to go to acupuncture and some form of manual physical therapy that does some sort of like massage thing. So I did exactly those two things, and it did get better after 2 years. But then he also had said at the same time, he's like, but I also see a hormone condition happening, and it might lead all the way up to a hysterectomy. And I was too young at the time to really, I was like, what? I was just too young. I didn't really process that. But it took about a decade plus to resolve sufficiently. And I was even in a trance with Francine, and Francine didn't even mention it. Like, I had asked, what do I need to do to get out of pain? And Francine said, you've got fibromyalgia. You need to eat a lot more protein, a lot less carbohydrates. She did not mention the endometriosis. And the closest information that I had gotten was, there's something off with your hormones. It might lead all the way up to hysterectomy. And so I had to think about that, and I had to, I ended up going through this, it all got resolved in just one moment in my 30s, where I was at kind of like a rock bottom with hopelessness. And I said to God, I don't know how much more of this that I can take. But then I realized, and it just like, it hit me like a beam of light. It just hit me like a beam of light. And I realized, wait a second, anytime that someone has told me that there's no hope, I have believed it. And then I've given up. And that was on me. And I realized, I was like, wait a second, I have not fought for this. I have not fought to get better. I have not fought for answers. I have knocked politely on the door, but I have not like gone and like pulled in Rahim's energy and like gone in and said like, no, I'm not leaving this office until you have a solution. And once I changed my attitude and I learned that lesson, I found the right doctor, found the right diagnosis. I was out of pain. It just like boom, 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 like all of this. And I was like, oh my God, I'm finally living a life and it's pain-free. This is incredible. So sometimes we are stuck with a problem until whatever is the lesson happens to us. And sometimes the lesson is that we have to fight very, very hard and not let anybody interfere with our sense of hope, not let anybody interfere with our sense of, oh, this might get better. No, I refuse to believe anybody who comes into my office and says this is a hopeless situation. I'm like, no, we're not going to do that. We are nowhere near this. We are nowhere near this. I do not let anybody walk out of my office without me fighting them on that. And I'm a therapist. Therapists usually don't fight people. I will fight people. Like, we're not going to do this. We're not going to do this. Like, oh, this situation's hopeless. No. Mm-mm. So that's my rant. We are
All
in
right.
such a happy place now. Great.
And Yvonne Gibson, it says here, can you
Ooh.
explain what exactly is the desert period?
Oh. Go for it.
You will be living your life, coming up with ideas, thinking that's just, hey, it's me. I'm living my life. I'm doing what I normally do. And all of a sudden, you get nothing. You get no ideas. You'll be challenged
No
with
ideas.
things, and nothing's coming to mind of how to deal with the situation. That's different than being depressed and not wanting to do and not wanting to eat, not wanting. It's more, I think of it as I want to do, I should be doing, I could be, and I'm not getting any ideas. I'm not getting reciprocation. It's like the radio's gone dead.
Yeah, it's literally going into a classroom to take a test. You can't open your book. There's no like extra help. There's no phone that you can really call. That's essentially what this is. It's a test period where things might go right or things might go wrong, but it is up to you to really buckle down and workshop it. And it can be extremely difficult, extremely challenging, and sometimes just outright absolute awful. Desert periods can just be so awful and isolating.
Or
they can
boring.
be, or they can be okay, or boring. Yeah. I had a boring desert period once where I just decided, you know what? I'm just going to relax, kick back, enjoy things, and enjoy my own hobbies. And that's what I did. Nothing else was working. Everything else was just dog water. Everything else is dog water. But I was like, you know, I'm not gonna let this get to me. I closed the windows of negativity in my mind. And I was like, I'm just gonna enjoy my hobbies. And that's what I did. And you're allowed to do that with a desert period. If you feel like nothing else is working, like, you know what? Fine.
What I've done, I use those when I think I'm in a desert period, is practice going with the first thing that comes to mind. Quiet your mind. Ask the question, what would be a helpful activity? Should I go to the beach, go to the forest? Wait for the first thing that comes to mind and go do that.
That's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Yeah, there's so many positive ways to meet a desert period, but you will always feel like, I don't know what I'm doing. That's oftentimes what the desert period feels like. I have no idea what I'm doing. I don't know who I'm supposed to call. I don't know what career I'm supposed to be choosing. I don't even know if I'm with the right partner. Like, nothing feels, and it's because spiritually, we actually, in those desert periods, we actually have not charted in what's supposed to happen, and that is why it feels so disorienting. So if you're in one of those, or have been through one of those, or you felt like, man, I just feel like nobody's answering the phone here, I feel super lost, don't panic. It is a test period. It's a desert period. You just have to kind of weather through it and maybe hunker down, maybe go to the beach, maybe go to the forest, and just try to really close those windows of negativity when they pop up. Just like instantly hop on it. Don't let it snowball. And that's really how you have to handle it. You have to be very proactive during a desert period about how to like respond to anything going wrong. My husband says in the comments, mine felt aimless and without purpose. Absolutely. Definitely feels that way. Lady Kirashka says, ugh, real. Yes, queen. Yeah, it's not fun. It's not fun, but you can choose to cultivate fun. You can do that,
right.
But goodness gracious. Yvonne says, I feel like my young adult life was a desert period that I could not change anything. Yes. Oh, sometimes that feels that way. It's awful. Reverend Danny says, everything in my life is great, but in one area I can't buckle down and it's not my option line. Ooh, that sounds really challenging and annoying. I'd be happy to say prayers for you. Jorge says, Sylvia said that last lifers will be pulling challenges from all the themes. And on my 41st life, I agree. Yvonne asks, how many years can this desert period last? I've heard them last a couple of years sometimes. But you can definitely petition Azna to shorten it. Say, Azna, can we please hurry this along, please? Like, whatever is supposed to happen, can we hurry this along? You can absolutely petition for that. And I try to visualize, actually. I try to visualize, like, even when I'm driving and I know that I'm in a desert period, if I'm driving, I'm like, visualize, like, as soon as I pull my car over, I'm going to be on the other side of this into a beautiful, vibrant valley. I try to visualize it constantly. I'm arriving in prosperity, arriving in joy, arriving in bliss, arriving in calm. So there's definitely a lot that you can do there. But I try to meet these very proactively because, man, oh man, if I start joining with the negative things that are going on and I let myself spiral, I will spiral like a Scorpio does. I will spiral, and it's really, really hard to get back up again. So you just got to slam the window on all that. Stephen asks, does anyone... One last question. Great. Stephen asks, does anyone have a link to the Novus Spiritus Discord group? Yes, I'll be happy to post that as soon as we get into our next segment. And on that note, here we go. Azna and differ on how long Earth should last as a habitable planet. Earth's current position is the 591st time that a planet has been in this position as habitable. And beware satanic groups and communes collecting children. It's a lot more common than we think, apparently. That is horrifying. And then lastly about, also be careful about exposés. It's another form of McCarthyism. And now it's like cancel culture, I think. But anyway, here we go. Next segment.
All right.
I feel heartily sorry for what Sylvia's going through now, but I know that it's something that it's still the purification, that she'll come out all right. I think she feels like she's a traveling gypsy at this point, that she's not settled anywhere. But nevertheless, good does prevail, ultimately. And all of you sticking will be blessed 1,000-fold for that. I want to talk to you also about the different healing methods. And all of you have got to start healing, as Rahim had recommended last week. Even if you only use it on yourself, then use it on yourself. But please, the ministers that are here, the ones that have come in, even though very new to it, have got to start healing. I know some of you, such as Shirley and John, have been healing long or prior to coming into the ministry, but the ministry means for everyone to administer to.
You said deliberations of the higher echelon. Who then is in negotiations for the time slot?
Well, you have the emotional side of the creative forces and you have the intellectual side. And even though everything has been set in a pattern, it is still negotiable by creative forces that are, I guess you might call, the boss. And I think Azna is petitioning for a shorter number of years, and I think that our Father is demanding that it be held within it's almost non sequitur as far as.
So it's basically between Azna and Does she look at this as a baby of hers dying, or is she saddened?
No, they don't have. Well, she's more emotional than he is, but she is more in the aspect as any mother would be, concerned about her creations over even the floral and fauna, because the floral and fauna exist in perfect order on my side, so it's nothing but in shadow. She's more concerned about her children. That it's like a mother who doesn't want their child to go on a Ferris wheel because it looks rickety.
Okay, so the earth, though she rules it, is just a secondary...
Well, she really is the ruler and the guardian and the helper of the creation of mankind, or womankind, we might say. I don't think she's that concerned about the disintegration or the pollution of, because her actual creation is in perfect order. Because the earth, as we know it on the other side, is perfect. Now, what I think is truly amazing, you might be very interested in this, is that as soon as this is destroyed and supernovaed, another planet swings into place to get ready for the next battle. And I know for a fact, because I've checked it, that no one in this room, at least no white entity that I know, is going to come back into this position again. But it's there will be another planetary involvement again. Just as Earth moved into position, Mercury will be the next one that moves into position, which will be very Earth-like in its beginnings, and will have the creative force of caveman and Neanderthal and all the other things, and see if they do it different. It's amazing to note that this is the 591st time that this planetary motion of where Earth is has come about in creative time. And you can imagine how many years that makes when this Earth that you're sitting on is millions of years old. So you can imagine how many millions of years that goes back. And most of you never came here before. So it's been a new adventure for you. And that doesn't mean you haven't spent a lot of lives here, because white entities usually have to ingrain in a planet for many centuries before they finally whip themselves up into a warrior fight. So it's been, I don't even want to see anything that has to do with it anymore. And I'm on my side, and I never was a guide before, but I find it to be very distasteful to watch somebody that you care about to go through that, as all the guides feel about you that they love. They just don't want to see you imprisoned anymore in this kind of atmosphere. I'm very concerned, and we're watching this on the other side, of occult practices that are going on in the world and the gathering up of young children. We're also seeing now that there are an awful lot of young children that are being gathered up for satanic practices. This is also the heralding of an apocalyptic type of situation in which the end is near, when the dark forces become so evil that they actually, in the name of God or Satan, began to acquire their young for their own. These occult groups, militant as they may be, are really frightening. All of you must guard against your children or grandchildren that they're not usurped by this, because of the fact that you are of white entities, and that's exactly what they're going to. And I don't want you to all be terrified and run out and cover your children, but I mean, be aware that these things exist, and they have communes, and they're very frightening, and there is no freedom. There is constant demands. Be aware enough to know that it's going on all over. It's very much, as Sylvia and Rahim have stated, that notice how much you are seeing this Exposé television. It is really the beginnings of the Big Brother. No one is safe from being exposed. Any one that they can find to be on TV to do an expose on, they're going to do it, which means your private life is not your own. It's the beginnings of the world's McCarthyism. And no one is free from being challenged. And that's why I keep telling you, and I don't think you're listening, stick together. If you stick together, no one can harm you. There is power in the safety of you being prayerful and together. I don't mean stick together in a needy way. I mean sticking together in your prayer force. That's how you must stick together in your belief force. That's the only way you will survive this onslaught. And I don't think you're listening.
Ooh.
If you need to, go back and listen again.
Ooh.
I just recently watched I heard a PBS documentary on what the expression is, the Satanic Panic.
Interesting.
There's a resurgence of that, and they gave an interesting history of the Satanic Panic in at least the United States society. In the early 80s, there was Satanic Panic regarding cult groups, and which there were quite a few that would sequester people and hold them as an occult and keep them imprisoned, as it were. And that followed through over time. We've had, they pointed out some recent examples. Well, the early ones were like Jim Jones and I was trying to think. There was one in Northern California as well. I'm the names are at a loss, but there was the collection of people.
Mm-hmm.
And she's also, talking about the children. Well, we've heard there's a lot of news in my area about trafficking, human trafficking, which is moving people around. And so, yeah, that's it's going on, and do your best to, stay connected.
Mm. Oh boy, this is. I know for me, I find this tough to talk about, and yet I do think it is important to talk about. And I think that what Francine, like my takeaway from what Francine was saying there towards the end, is she's saying, like, you have safety in numbers when you're around other white entities. Mm-hmm. And you have safety in numbers when you are able to collectively be aware of what darkness looks like and how dark entities behave. Mm-hmm. You have safety in numbers when you all are not walking around in naivete and alone. And that's something that I think just makes me really sad for Gnostics sometimes, is that Gnostic groups just seem like they'll get together for a little while, and then, like, throughout history, they'll disperse. They'll get together for a little while and then just disperse, because there's a beauty in Gnostic philosophy at the core of it being like this incredible wonder of your own individual relationship with God. And yet what Francine is still saying here is that you have to stick together, and white entities, and, like, not just Gnostics, but I would argue Gnostics too, like, you have safety when you're together, and when you're able to look at something and say, yeah, okay, yeah, that person at school, red flag behavior, red flag, we need to address this. And I see some folks are asking in the comments about, the files, the Epstein files and whatnot. And is Francine talking about this? What we've heard in the past, and this may sound kind of difficult to wrap one's head around, but they said that some of what they talked about was, they knew that it would be talked about again and played again in the future. And so sometimes they dropped things in these very past recordings, because this is from 1989, like, knowing that it would be relevant, like they might insert something that would be relevant if it was played again later at a later time. I don't know. Maybe that's what's happening. But we also know that, like, from the very, very dreadful things that we're seeing, like, come to light right now with this lancing of the darkness, like lancing a boil, and all of this awfulness is coming to light is that
Right.
now the light is coming through and shining light on this so that it can't hide in the darkness anymore. Like we are seeing that there's a lot of messed up people out there. There's a lot of situations where if when the good Lord decides to bless us with a child, I'll be like, I might be making some different choices compared to how I was raised. And even talking to my mom, she's like, I like there's a school that I went to that's mentioned in the Epstein files, and my mom and I are just like, oh my, it's horrible. Like,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
What are we doing here, people? This is crazy. This is so crazy. So I don't know. Safety in numbers, though. Is so important. If you know the goodness of another person, what a beautiful thing. But if you have even more people having eyes in the community, if you have even more people that you trust and that you're able to talk about, like, and just focus on good deeds together, and Gnostics, like their lights shine. Helpers, you can see how their light shines, and I don't know. I just really appreciate what Francine was saying there, that there is safety in numbers. And I think that that was a very strong statement from her, because she's usually very pacifistic. She's usually like very like, it's okay. It's fine. People do whatever they need to do. But she was saying there, she's like, no, I don't think you guys are paying attention. Like, this is actually really, really important.
Right.
So
Keep that in mind. She does express at some point how much we actually pay attention. So it'll be a fun, not just fun, but educational.
Sure.
For us to,
it's educational.
Something for us to hang on to and pay attention to for ourselves, so that we pay more attention.
Yes.
Any two comments?
Two comments. You got it. Lady Karashka says, it is truly messed up. Know where your kids are and who they're talking to. Ask others to be resources for your kids when you're not around. Amen. That's beautiful discernment. Beautiful discernment. Very good. Very good. And Christina over on Facebook says, yeah, I think that's exactly what's happening. Yeah. But anyway, I know that these are certainly some charged topics. Take a breath and ask for angels to surround you, like as wherever you are right now, surround your family, surround your loved ones, your pets, ask for the white light, the Holy Spirit, all these things. And yeah, just do some contemplation. How could we all in our respective lives think about how we can have more safety in numbers, whatever that looks like. It might look different for everybody. That's fine. Okay. So let's take a look at our last segment here. People are more likely to see an extraterrestrial than a spirit. Oh my goodness. Beware anyone making you think, oh, what's the use? You can't blame yourself for another person's suicide. People who are suicidal start treating life itself as an option line with an N. Mediumistic people emit a psychic blue light that says, hey, I can help you. Virginia City hauntings. And lastly, a quote, you're supposed to stay in life and do good for other people.
All right, here we go.
Okay.
All right, are there any questions? Yes.
My dog has been barking at invisible beings, and my cat, who stays in the house at night, refuses to come in at night. Is this?
The extraterrestrials are visiting a lot. And that's why I didn't want you to feel that we, of course, were not inaccessible to you, but you are more apt to see an extraterrestrial and think it's a spirit because they are of flesh and blood. They just can dematerialize easier.
Would it be safer for the cat to be in the house, or is she curious and wants to see them?
She's curious. Very few things scare cats. So I want you to think of, as I've told you before, all the enemies that you know, bind their mouths with purple. The purple, like I've told you, is the spirituality, and if they speak to you, they can only speak truth or spirituality to you. Think of all the people around you, and you don't have enemies as such, but think of anyone that comes in a cloaked form, so to speak, as being of a negative ilk, and you must rid yourself. This is not a fear tactic, it's just to make sure that there is no attack. And they can't harm you, but they can make you mentally feel depressed, fated, F-A-T-E-D. They can make you feel, what's the use? That's the best way to undermine people. I don't mean just in this, I mean in your own life. The feeling of giving up. Don't let that get embroiled. We had an occasion to try to find someone who has just recently committed suicide out of the foundation, which Sylvia tried to help, all the ministers tried to help, and we can't find him. So we are surmising that possibly he may show up. Bill was very distraught, and there was nothing that anybody could do to save him. And I've told Sylvia incessantly that you can't break a person's chart. So we must all pray for him to make it towards his light, or some kind of light in which he can be released. I know Sylvia kept him alive by yelling at him for 1 month. And no matter what anybody did, cajole, yell, plead, bargain with, he was determined. It was his 4th attempt. And with his 4th attempt, he got out. And I want you to please be able to go out and ease the mind of other people that have this kind of situation that happens, is that when a suicide occurs, everybody blames himself. You can't. You cannot be godlike to the point that you intercept what they have taken as an exit point. And he began to write that in. We've noticed a very strange phenomena happen, we have for some time, at least for as long as I've been studying it, is that when a suicide is going to occur, the option line is their life. And as you well know, that's no such an option line. But it's like another option line has appeared besides the, let's say, 6 normal ones that you know of. There is an extra one. And we're now beginning to look at these entities very closely and trying to counsel them not to come in, because if their option line is life, then anything that hits them will make them take their life. Most of you have option lines of family, spirituality, finances, but you don't have the option line of life. You may take an option life, as most of you did, but you don't use that as your option life, which means your whole life is an exit point then. So the person spends most of their time deliberating of getting out all the time. And when you run up against that type of thing, I would caution you on, not that you don't want to put a lot into it, of course you do, but not to have any backlash when this happens. That you say, well, if I'd have called, if I'd have checked on, he was found in a garage doing the same thing to himself, and as Michael stated, if the neighbor hadn't caught him before, he would have been gone. So I want to alleviate any, because I know there's been at least 5 or 6 people in the room that have tried to counsel him. And I don't want in any means for you to feel as a failure to this. You couldn't have done any more than you did. And what is so typically human, after a while you become so aggravated with a person who's so determined. It's very much the same way as Sylvia said, if someone slashes their wrist and they're bleeding to death and you try to get to them to bind that cut, and they're holding a knife on you, there is nothing you can do to save that person. Yes.
What is the best way for us to reach his soul from our place?
Talk to him directly. Talk to him directly.
Out of the blue, this lady came up to me in a store, said to me, "I've tried to commit suicide 3 times. Now, would you please tell me why I'm trying to hurt myself?" And I asked her, "Have you seen a psychiatrist?" She said yes, and they don't do me any good. I'm wondering why she picked me out, and why did she ask me those questions?
You have a light that blinks off and on. You have a blue light. Anyone who has tremendous mediumistic qualities, which you have, will emit a very bright blue light. And what happens is that reflects on the person's, literally on the retina of their physical eyes. And they will then come and track you. If you've ever been to Virginia City, I would caution you to be very careful of going there. There's a lot of lost souls up in Virginia City area. I don't know how many here have been there. Any person of mediumistic tendencies, when they go into that area, gets immediately drained. You would be one of those people. And you will feel this terrible, oppressive feeling. The same thing as this woman did. She felt an elation. People in physical form will find an elation from that. In other words, they'll seek you out and say, "Hi, I want to tell you my most secret thoughts."
What was I supposed to tell her? She even asked me for my home phone number, and I thought, well, maybe I was supposed to give it to her. So I said, "Fine, call me." She called me and asked, why do I keep hurting myself? I don't have the answer for her, Francine. What am I supposed to tell her?
Tell her that she did it in other lives and she's supposed to stay around to do good for other people. See, she's looking to you as a savior for her, and surely you are. Yes, and more and more of you are going to get approached like that, because as you listen, as you learn, as you spiritually advance, your light gets brighter. But you were born with mediumistic qualities anyway. And I know it does throw you, because people will just come up and just dump everything right in your lap. And the minute a person says to you, "The psychiatrist has not done me any good," you are under full auspices to then try to help, because you know then that everything else has failed.
She won't go back, she said.
No, I don't really blame her. Sylvia's much more kind about psychiatry than I am. Yes.
Talking about the praying together, staying together, that we're not maybe really comprehending. Could you expand on that?
It's not enough that you just, attendance is one thing. That's nice. Attendance at church, of course, is nice. But to pray as a unity group, even if you're not here, if you're absentee, think of yourself as a group and silver cording your way through each other. Even to say that every Gnostic in the world is part of the thread. It's like a string of pearls that link together. If you don't, to be isolated at this time is horrifying. The reason why any religion was started, or should have been, the original reason and the most purest religion, was to come together as a group to be able to pray and bring about strength. Not just on Tuesday night, but any time. Other than that, dogma, restrictions, all that is ridiculous. The only real purpose were people coming together in a holy bond.
Like last Sunday, holding hands and saying a prayer all for the common. Is that what you're...
Absolutely.
Connection, collection, organizing together.
Yes.
It sounds like also
Togetherness.
our when we pray together, I encourage the special prayers, and then we have the novena that's coming up as well. Oh, by the way, I think she was referring to Virginia City, California.
Nevada?
Maybe,
California?
maybe it was
Oh.
Nevada. Because when I went to say, when it came to mind, I was thinking of California, but when I said it, I had the same thing as you, Nevada. But that's what I think she's referring to, that Virginia City.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
Any 2 bits or comments people want to share?
Yeah. Some folks have shared some really heartfelt comments about how they've lost loved ones to, unfortunately, to suicide, and just want to let you know that we would be so happy to pray for everyone who's still healing from that experience. It's just there's no words. It's terrifying. It's heartbreaking, and we just have to do everything that we can to immediately grasp onto this truth. It is not our fault, and the other side understands mental health is an extremely difficult challenge, and most suicidal individuals who lose their life that way, we are told they end up making it over okay and resume their beautiful life on the other side. And like we can hold that close to us, that if our loved one was really, really struggling with that, they are okay, and God is always going to take care of anyone who has had such a terrible struggle with that aspect of mental illness. It's just it's awful. You are not alone, and we'll be happy to pray for any loved ones out there and anyone who is still healing from that experience. All right. And yeah, I think that's where we're at right now for the comments. Somebody asked, somebody's yep. We're good.
Cool. All right. Now it's time for meditation.
Yes,
for those of you that want to participate, we encourage you to sit with your feet flat on the floor and your palms upward on your lap to receive that wonderful healing energy. If you need to pay attention to what you're doing, don't pay attention to us, but by all means, come back and listen to these wonderful meditations in the on-demand. And for the rest of us, let's enjoy.
Find a comfortable place to sit with your feet flat on the floor, or a comfortable place to lay if you need to, and your hands palms upward on your lap. Now, to start relaxing the mind, body, and spirit, take 3 deep breaths and let go of any concerns of the day or the week or the month. Now, close your eyes when you are ready.
Music and colors. You feel brilliant sunlight shining directly on you. You are enveloped by our Father in heaven, and Mother Azna is with you, wielding her golden sword and taking away all pain. Moving your mind laterally, you open its channels wide and clear.
You go back to a morphic resonance of when we all lived as Gnostics with pure knowledge and belief, and no dogmatic authorities. You are sent a crescendo of color and sound and beauty. It permeates every single molecule and cell of your being. The colors and music seem to have a life of their own, flowing through you. You feel yourself affirming. The music of your soul resounds with the touch of the divine. In sound and color, my spirituality has risen to new heights, and I am at peace. You're imbued now with courage, fortitude, and perseverance. All those nitpicky, human and worldly cares are rinsed away. You feel your spirit rise and touch God. And forever after this moment, your soul will never be separated from God, because it has touched the divine, which will live with you for eternity.
Now, bring that wonderful feeling back. On the count of 3, come all the way back. 1, 2, 3. Fully alert, fully awake.
That's tough. I'm like, whew. Ugh. Okay. In the meantime, while you are mentally gathering yourself or opening up and recalling where you are, check out our websites at novus.org, sylviabrowne.com, and chrisrightnow.com. You'll learn about more about us on Facebook and YouTube. Also, Discord. Did you put out the link?
I sure did.
Cool. All right. Check us out on Discord. You can learn more about Novus Spiritus through participating or joining a study group or creating a study group. You can learn more about that on our website. Church services, the first Sunday of the month. There are there's live services in Las Vegas. They live stream it to a private Facebook group, a closed Facebook group that you can be invited to. I post on a recorded Sunday service on Facebook and YouTube. That's for the first Sunday. The last Sunday of the month, you can participate in a special Zoom service. And I'm plugging myself because I'm doing prayers on this Sunday, this last Sunday of the month, on the Zoom service. The Novena, it's a special prayer ceremony. If you're not familiar with it, it goes with our tenet number 10 that reminds us, let no one convince you that you are less than a god. Do not let fear imprison your spiritual growth. We're going to say a phrase together 3 times. I'll tell you what the phrase is. I'm going to lead us off. We'll say the phrase 3 times, and then I'll tell you what to ask for. And we're going to do that 3 times. The phrase is, I am God. I am part of God. I am God. All things are possible because I am God. So let's visualize that we're all holding hands together, creating that synergy that Francine talks about, being connected, and visualize that we're in a large room or we're out in the velvety darkness of space, holding hands. So I'll lead us off. I am God. I am part of God. I am God. All things are possible because I am God. I am God. I am part of God. I am God. All things are possible because I am God. I am God. I am part of God. I am God. All things are possible because I am God. Now, ask for things for yourself. Okay. Here we go for the second one. I am God. I am part of God. I am God. All things are possible because I am God. I am God. I am part of God. I am God. All things are possible because I am God. I am God. I am part of God. I am God. All things are possible because I am God. Now ask for things for others. Okay. And the last one. I am God. I am part of God. I am God. All things are possible because I am God. I am God. I am part of God. I am God. All things are possible because I am God. I am God. I am part of God. I am God. All things are possible because I am God. Now, picture our light going out like a beacon of light for others seeking this spiritual knowledge. Now, think of something you appreciate from last week so you can carry that thought through the next week and beyond to help keep you mentally appreciative, positive, and uplifted. Then use this new knowledge to show your appreciation to Francine and Raheem for researching all of this wonderful knowledge, to Sylvia for coming to this insane asylum of the universe to start this movement and for showing us how to get some peace of mind and grace while we're here, to Azna for helping us and protecting us, to Father God for providing the most prestigious school for us to experience, learn, and satisfy our unique spark of curiosity, to Sammy and Javon for our wonderful theme music, intros, and outros. Your hosts are Reverend Catherine Taylor and Reverend Tom Bigley. And now a prayer by Sylvia. Let me get that up here. And in the meantime, start posting in the comments. What did you learn? What was your favorite part? We want to hear and we'll share it with everyone. Oh, here we go. Let's do that. There we go. A prayer by Sylvia.
Prayer for jubilation and thanksgiving should be said every morning on a daily basis. Praise be to the creators. Praise be to Mother and Father God. Praise be to their holy and sacred names. Praise be to the life givers. Praise be to the positive and joyful givers. We ask that our souls be filled with your love today and with your omnipotent grace. Praise be your holy names. Fill my heart with love, and where there is love, there can be no taint of despair, greed, or negativity. Praise be your holy names.
And
We love you very much. Sending tons of prayers for positivity going into the next week. And we will see you next Wednesday.
For so
Good night.
long we have ignored you as if you were not there. All praise went to the Father. We were so unaware that through the years you've shed your tears for all the pain we bear. You've planted every blade of grass, creator of the stars. And when I'm feeling down and out, you mend my broken heart. So now I sing this song of thanks because of who you are. Oh, Azna, how we love you. Place no one above you. Always thinking of you. Bless your name. You are Mother God. You're more than a friend to me. You give me everything I need. In your peace you hold me tight. You are the bringer of the light. With no fear we boldly stand, because you hold this world in your hands. You are the truth, you are the hope and love we never knew. Oh, Azna, how we love you. Place no one above you. Always thinking of you. Bless your name. You are Mother God. Mother